My Big One family, I want to welcome you guys into another episode of the Market Review over here at Big One. I'm Vibin. I'll be your host today. I want to welcome you guys in. Before we get started, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. If you hear some things that you like, share this with a friend. Comment down below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you stay up to date to the latest notifications over here at the Market Review. So we just want to jump right into it today, guys. Want to talk about what's been going on in the market. It's been a lot of interesting catalysts over the last couple of days. We've seen Bitcoin, last week get up towards the $30,000 mark and kind of reject off of it. And now it's starting to look like it's heading back down to its support. And as that happens, there's been a lot of things happening on the market. So we just want to go ahead and just jump right into those things. So the first thing I want to talk about today is, literally we were talking about how Bitcoin long liquidations hit 150 million in 3 days as BT starts heading back towards that support. So we're going to I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. We're going to go right over to Big One. And we're going to go right to the BTC chart. And like I said, you guys can see here the rejection that we talked about at 30,000, right at 31. And then, it's coming back at 27 now. It's trying to grab some support down here. But with that, a lot of people usually go long or they try to short really early and they get blown out. So just in the last 3 days, it's been over $150 million in liquidations that's occurred in the market. And that's people going for the long position, right? So we just got to keep paying attention to things like that, especially when people are long and short. And it's always going to be a little bit of volatility there, and it's always a lot of wipeouts in the liquidation market. So definitely got to be cognizant and make sure you're experienced if you're going to be trading on futures and things of that nature. So one of the other things I want to talk about today was actually one of those record-setting days for Bitcoin. We've seen Bitcoin today. Literally today, it was record highs as far as like how many transactions that were going on Bitcoin. So today, the network closed 423,613 transactions. And that's the third highest daily transaction count in Bitcoin's network's history. And the average highest since that was in May 19, and that was 452,000. So and that just means that it's a lot of things going on the chain right now. A lot of people are looking at ways to diversify just because there's so much financial uncertainty in the markets right now in between countries. And a lot of people look like they're trying to pull away from the dollar, go towards the brick, and just some of the general public just like, hey man, I'd rather just get involved with Bitcoin or something like that. One of the other things to highlight that we've been able to see in the last couple of days is there have been a lot of dormant wallets appearing after 9 or 10 years on Bitcoin. And what does that say to me? I think it's just something to pay attention to, because when a lot of people are, they be taking these wallets and updating them and moving the Bitcoin around? Could be, but it's just one of those things that you pay attention to, especially when you start coming back down to these supports. One of the other things I wanted to highlight in the news from today was that in the U.S., the Republican House made a case on stablecoin bill after Democrats called for a do-over. So what they pretty much said was that they wanted to go ahead and pretty much pull the SEC and take the SEC out of the oversight of these stable coins because of how bad they've been basically monitoring crypto, where you have somebody like Gary Gensler one day saying Algorand is not a security, and then the next year he says that it is, right? So just one of those things that they haven't really been able to, the SEC hasn't been able to really come up with clarity in how they want to treat these digital assets. So it looks like the Republicans are looking to put it in a bill to kind of, when they come out with these stable coins, push them away from having the power, push the SEC away from having power to regulate them, and possibly put in a different entity to monitor the crypto world, right? Or the stable coins. And speaking of stable coins, one of the other big news that came out today, was that in China, there's a city that's going to be paying their citizens 100% in digital currencies and the yuan. We've seen that this happen in one of the Japanese countries a few weeks ago, and the one that's going to be doing it here in China is actually it's a Jiangsu province in eastern China. Wants to pay all the wages of both public and public officials and employees of state-owned enterprises using the CBDC. So we're starting to see that this digital currency is starting to become something that will be adopted in different countries throughout the world, and we'll see how far they go with these CBDCs. But just one of the things to pay attention to, that you could see currencies around the world are going to be going digital. One of the other things I wanted to highlight on today's show, guys, make sure you pay attention to our next episode. We're actually going to really jump into we'll jump over the big one now, but we're going to jump into some of these dual trade and actually execute a couple of them online, so you guys can get familiar about how to do these dual trades and use the quantitative AI. With AI technologies being one of the front runners in the world of technology right now, it's kind of hard to ignore some of the tools that BigONE has. If you guys aren't up to date on the latest tools, you can always go over to big.one, get into the announcement, see some of the things that's been launching, and it's also on our web. On the actual website itself, and on your app. So it's just going to be one of the things you can see here, the BigONE dual investment strategy. We're actually going to jump into that one tomorrow. That's going to be the first one that we tackle. But I want to get you guys up to date on how these things work. And we can try out some trading strategies together. And then that way possibly help you guys, help you out as far as how you want to, use these tools to your advantage. So yeah, those are the things I wanted to cover today, guys. Other than that, I'm not sure what else is trending. We can see here, Dogecoin is actually trending. So look like the memes are still having a little bit of run and still getting a lot of notoriety right now. So we'll just keep paying attention to that, guys. But I appreciate you guys tuning in over here at the market review today. Just stay with us. Make sure, like I said, we're going to have these videos coming out this week, interacting some of these dual investments and some quantitative trading practices. So appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, please smash that like button before you head out. That way it helps with the algorithm. But other than that, guys, appreciate you guys viewing. Appreciate you guys staying over here with us at BigONE. And as you guys know, as always, until the next time, it's vibing out.